Ukrainian FPV drones continue to target Russian soldiers on the front lines. The war in Ukraine continues with full intensity. August 3rd, 2026. One sector, one shift. Ukrainian FPV drones working through everything that moves. Soldiers on foot with nowhere to go. Vehicles on supply routes with no counter-drone cover. Positions built in places that turned out not to be safe. Every attempt to move, hide, or hold gets the same answer from above. Some run, some freeze, some reach for a weapon they can't aim fast enough. Some don't even see it coming. The terrain changes, the situation changes, the outcome doesn't. This is what a single day of operations looks like on this front. Filling water bottles at a well when the drone arrives. He spots it, grabs the nearest bottle, and hurls it at the drone. Whatever he was expecting to happen next, that wasn't enough to change it. Face to face with a drone, he skips firing and throws the rifle directly at it. The drone doesn't stop, neither does the outcome. A drone strikes a sleeping soldier and doesn't detonate on impact. One of the stranger moments on this front. The soldier wakes up, looks at the drone now sitting in his lap, and after a brief pause, lies back down. Whatever conclusion he reached about the situation, it was the wrong one. A few seconds later, the payload detonates. The moment he chose to ignore, it was the last chance he had. An elderly soldier, an FPV drone 1 meter away. He fires repeatedly. None of it connects. The drone doesn't miss. Another elderly Russian soldier on this front, a pattern that keeps appearing in the footage. The age range of who's being sent to these positions keeps widening. This one encounters a Ukrainian FPV drone and finds no way out of it. A Russian soldier hit by a drone strike and running, sprinting out of a tree line toward the wreckage of a destroyed armored vehicle, looking for anything to hide behind. Reconnaissance already has him tracked clearly. An FPV is dispatched, locates him in the wreckage, and takes time finding the right angle before closing in. A second strike reaches him before he finds a better position. One of the stranger moments on this front. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone scanning a tree line finds a Russian soldier asleep. The operator moves in close enough to wake him. He opens his eyes and finds a drone hovering right above him. Pure panic. He scrambles up and runs. No weapon, no direction, just away. What he doesn't know is that Ukrainian soldiers are already positioned nearby. The drone that woke him up couldn't make a strike. It didn't need to. It just had to keep him running in the right direction. Open ground, the worst place to be when a drone is already tracking you. 3 Russian soldiers moving through it when one takes a direct hit. The other 2 pick him up and keep moving. On foot, no vehicle, a wounded soldier slowing every step. They can't carry him fast enough to matter. A Russian automatic grenade launcher position in the Belgorod direction, located and struck by Ukraine's 22nd Mechanized Brigade Star Battalion before it fires another round. A Russian soldier using a tree as cover against an incoming drone, moving behind it, keeping the trunk between himself and what's closing in. The tree absorbs the impact, but not the blast. The explosion radius reaches him anyway. The cover that worked against ground-level threats doesn't work against what carries its own payload. Signum pilots working through occupied Donetsk, Kamaz trucks, fuel vehicles, everything keeping Russian units supplied, intercepted one after another. Fuel stations fortified with sandbags and camouflage netting, struck anyway. What stands out in this footage is what occupation looks like up close. Bus stops repainted in Russian tricolor. Every attempt to make the presence feel permanent. For many of these pilots, these aren't just target coordinates. They're streets they grew up on. They know every turn from their own lives. They're not just flying missions. They're coming home. A Magyar's birds operator scanning terrain in southern Donetsk, following a trail, moving fast through the search. A lone soldier comes into view quickly. The operator commits to the approach without hesitation, closing the distance before the soldier can process what's happening. He starts to raise his weapon. The drone reaches him before the aim finds anything to point at. Another morning in Russia. Another Wildberries warehouse on fire. Vladimir Oblast this time, 172,000 square meters, one of the company's largest distribution hubs, serving central and northern Russia, hit the night before. Samara, same campaign, second strike in 24 hours. In the same operation, Ukraine also struck Belgorod State Technological University, a facility where Russian drones were being developed and tested. Almost daily, since mid-July, the same network keeps burning. Ukraine's Ronin unit working the Zaporizhzhia direction. Vehicles, supply runs, anything moving intercepted before it arrives. What makes this sector significant? Zaporizhzhia connects Russian supply lines running from the east toward Crimea and the southern front. Cut the logistics here, and Russian forces in multiple directions feel it simultaneously. Every vehicle stopped isn't just one delivery. It's pressure on a network that's already stretched thin. A thermal reconnaissance drone marks a Russian soldier's position before the FPV is even dispatched. The strike arrives fast enough that he has no time to process what's happening. The drone reaches him before the situation resolves. Trees have never stopped a determined Ukrainian FPV operator. A Russian soldier weaving through the canopy, using every trunk as cover. The drone follows him through and finds him anyway. Russia's drone campaign is evolving and reaching deeper into civilian areas. Fiber-optic FPV drones are now operating inside Kramatorsk, Kharkiv, and Sumy, cities well behind the front line. In Zaporizhzhia, radio-controlled FPVs are reaching urban areas. A new weapon has also appeared, the Banderol rocket drone, alongside a growing share of jet-powered Shaheds. Russia is under severe pressure from Ukrainian strikes. That pressure hasn't stopped it from expanding its reach into civilian areas. Ukrainian MiG-29 pilots delivering 2 precision strikes on a Russian drone command post. The facility coordinating UAV operations in this sector hit directly. The crews controlling those drones no longer have a position to work from. Ukraine's Apache unit working through the rear, infantry, a tank, transport vehicles, communication systems, a power station, and a fuel depot all struck in the same operation. Every category of target that keeps Russian forces functional in this sector. No fuel means vehicles stop. No power means communication and coordination break down. No transport means supplies don't move. Apache crews targeting each link in the same chain in the same operation. Ukraine's 44th Artillery Brigade deploying dart fixed-wing UAVs against a Russian tank, a loitering munition that circles overhead until it identifies and dives onto its target. A tank taken out by a fixed-wing drone rather than an FPV is a sign of how the arsenal keeps expanding. Different systems, same result. The tank is no longer operational. Velika Pisarivka, Sumy Oblast. Russian airborne troops remotely place their unit flag on a rooftop. An attempt to claim the position from a distance. Ukraine's 105th Territorial Defense Brigade responds within 30 seconds. The flag and the position it was marking, gone before anyone could call it an advance. Russian soldiers sheltering beneath rubble and collapsed buildings in Kupiansk, positions that FPV drones can't easily reach through the debris. Ukraine's heavy bomber drone crews find a different solution. TM62 anti-tank mines dropped directly onto the structures from above. The buildings that were supposed to provide protection collapse further under the blast. The cover they were counting on becomes the thing that buries them. 2 Bukanka vans, 2 trucks, a trailer, a ground robotic complex, and 10 Russian ambush drones, all taken out in a single prime unit operation. The ambush drones neutralized before any of them activate. The vehicles before they complete their deliveries. Everything Russia had moving or waiting in this sector cleared in one sweep. A Ukrainian Air Force F-16 taking down a Russian Shahed drone with its M61 Vulcan cannon. 6,000 rounds per minute, built for exactly this kind of close-range intercept. A gun kill rather than a missile, capturing the moment the cannon connects. 13 more electrical nodes struck across the south in 72 hours. Mariupol hit across 5 separate substations, including 330 kilovolts and 220 kilovolts high-voltage infrastructure. Berdyansk, Henichesk, Zaporizhzhia, the Zuvska thermal power station. 177 energy targets in a single month. Russian military systems, radar, communication, air defense, forced onto backup generators that run on fuel the maritime campaign has already been cutting off. Power and fuel, both running short simultaneously. 2 campaigns, 1 collapsing system. Across this front, the same story plays out every day. Soldiers found in tree lines, at wells, on supply routes. Russia recorded over 42,000 losses in July alone, the highest monthly figure of 2026. On average, 34,000 per month throughout this year. Ukraine's president removed the commander-in-chief and defense minister in a major reshuffle, restructuring military leadership while the fight continues. Pokrovsk and Kostiantynivka remain the heaviest sectors. Another Wildberries hub hit in Vladimir Oblast today. Both sides escalating in every direction. Drop a comment. With 42,000 losses in a single month, what does Russia's military look like by year's end?